We do have a quorum. We do not have anyone signed up for public comments. Item number 3, can I get a motion on minutes from June 6, 2016?
Make a motion to be approved.
I'll second.
All right, motion and second to approve. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you very much. All right, this is an exciting project. The old hospital on the west side going up for nomination to the National Register of Historic Places. We successfully had 2 listed earlier this year. This will be our 3rd one in 2016 and our 3rd one in about the last 20 some odd years as well. So I'll turn it over to Kathy and let Kathy kind of tell you a little bit about the project.
So I have my business cards. I thought this would be kind of informal. There's 5 colors. You get to pick your favorite one. Because not everybody likes the same stuff. So
Thank you.
that's our philosophy.
Well, I'll take the green one.
Around here, oranges.
So what I have is this is the draft of the nomination. So I'll just send you some. This way, I made 6 copies. Looks like I'm a little bit short. Here's another one that's kind of single-sided, but. So, so I think this is just kind of informal. Just to kind of recap where things have been. I need my notes. So the nomination was first started in at the end of 2014. We turned it in January to the Oklahoma Housing and Finance Agency. Well, we didn't. The developer did. We turned the nomination and the draft Part 1 and the draft nomination, the Part 1 application for preservation tax credits, and the Part 2 application for preservation tax credits into the SHPO in January of 2015. If you're familiar with the Oklahoma Housing and Finance Agency process, they have 4% tax credits and 9% housing tax credits. And if a developer is seeking the 9% tax credits, those are competitive. And so they have 2 application points, one in January and one at the end of June. So that being the case for this particular project, an application was submitted to the Housing and Finance Agency in January of 2015. They didn't get selected with that round. They had some revisions to make. So there was another round in June 2015 and then another round in January 2016. It takes them several months to run through all of the applications. You know, they can be quite sizable, and make their decisions as to who they're going to provide some funding to. So this particular project then was selected in May, and now it's time to move forward with actually pushing, getting it listed on the National Register so that they can move forward with the rest of their development plans. So I did bring one copy of the plans. I didn't know how interested you would be in that. But I'll call your attention. I think some of the funnest stuff in the nomination is actually the historic photographs that we were able to uncover. You may know that the building was actually started and then lay open and unfinished for several years before they came back and finished it up. I just think that's kind of interesting. We were able to make contact with the Benedictine sisters, who were very eager to share the photographs and other information that they had about their involvement at the property. So we included some of the photographs on pages, starting on page 23 and 24. We picked images that we also then recreated with modern times. So it's kind of fun to see the 1948 picture of the emergency entrance, which is on the back, and look at on page 28 what it looks like now. Similarly, the lobby with, you know, the statue in the niche and the tile flooring and all of that, and what it looks like now on page 28. You have the picture on page 23 with one of the sisters and some children at the front entrance. You can see the sign and the light fixtures there. And then we provided a similar image on page 27, which shows you kind of what it looks like now. So you can kind of tell from the current photographs that it's a building in need of a little bit of love. So the plan is to put 36 affordable housing units in the main building, and then on that large piece of property to build 16 more garden units on the west side. So you can kind of see that here. Here's the main building, here's the boiler plant, and then here's the 16 garden units all the way over there. So we have a lot of land that'll still remain and give you that, you know, honor the site and setting of the historic building, kind of recreating the formal landscaping from the parking out front to the main entrance. And that's pretty exciting. The boiler plant building will house some of their amenities, like their physical fitness room and their community room. And it wasn't included in the original plans, but they get extra points for including a FEMA shelter. So there would be a FEMA shelter for the residents of the community. And that'll probably be in the lower basement level where the actual boilers are today. So, this is a draft of the nomination. We received several comments from the SHPO, and we received them right away after it was turned in January of 2015, and we just kind of held on to those until we knew whether the project was going to be funded or not. And so now we're in the position of actually making the modifications to bring the nomination up to what the SHPO wants it to be, so that they can process it and get it ready to send to the National Register. So, of course, a stop here at the Guthrie Historic Preservation Commission is what's required in order to get that going. So I think, and you have to do a 30-day notice?
Yeah, so the earliest you'll vote on this is September. Once SHPO gives the approval and we go through our processes and everything like that, the earliest you'll vote on it will be September.
So, I don't know what else you want to know. We're architects, historic preservation specialists, and interior designers. And so we've been hired by the developer to provide historic preservation consultation and work with them on all of the coordination process with the National Park Service and the SHPO. They have another architect who's actually the design architect, and that is Blackledge and Associates out of Oklahoma City. And the developer's out of Oklahoma City, so they're close by, pretty local. And they've been working on this a long time. They've been really trying to do this for a long time.
36 total units inside the main building, or is that inclusive of the garden?
No, that's inside the main building. There's 7 units per floor. It's a pretty sizable footprint. And so there's 5 floors that'll have 7 units each. And then the very top level, which is kind of fun, that's where the nuns actually stay. And on the top floor, they're going to keep things like there's a sitting room here, a lounge here. These were probably rooms that the nuns stayed in. A library here. They're going to put a little exercise room here. There will only be 1 2-bedroom apartment on that top floor, and this is the historic location of the chapel. So they're going to keep that, and they're going to keep that as a chapel. Then they have some storage lockers up there, and they're creating a roof garden on the that east wing.
Wow.
So that'll be really
Only one
nice.
2-bedroom unit up there?
Yeah. And then this is, this is the basement layout. The basement currently has, they've put a storm shelter here, but, when we were on site a little while back, we decided that maybe this was a better location for the storm shelter because it needs to be a certain size in order to accommodate that number of people. they're one-bedroom apartments, so, that's 35 individuals. Well, potentially 7, because you have to count on 2 per bedroom. And then, let's see. And then 6 2-bedrooms total. So since that's 24, so about 80 to 100 people. That's not counting the garden apartments. I don't know what the floor plans of the garden apartments are. It could be that those are 2 bedrooms, because I know lots of times they strive for matching numbers between 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. But you can see that it's, there's one apartment right here. It's the smallest one is on that end. Then here's, there's one here. This is currently where the kitchen and serving line was for the cafeteria, which was located over on the other side. Not very fancy finishes, it's a pretty dim space, but we are kind of keeping a gesture at the serving line, which was open to the corridor. And then they have elevators, 2 elevators, and 3 apartments on this wing. So it's not very many. It's really a nice size. We have another client that is working on one in Sepulpa, the Berry Hill building, and it's a little bit has a little bit fewer apartments, but it's about 6 per floor, and it has the nice wide hallways, and it was so pleasant to be in that one. I've been in other ones where the hallways are really cramped, and they've really shoved a lot of units onto the floor, and it's just not as much fun.
So if somebody had to be on a walker or in a transport chair or something like that, it wouldn't be a problem?
There's plenty of room for at least 2 people to pass in wheelchairs.
This is exciting to see this finally starting to
It's a huge piece of land,
some
so.
shape.
Plan is really nice, really looks good. Just from the
Yeah.
first view of it, that's a really, like you say, Kim, this is exciting thing to go.
The competitive credits really have a lot, they put a lot of focus on amenities. So like you'll see shuffleboard on the outside, covered sitting areas on the outside. On the inside, there's sitting rooms and community rooms, and they have to have like a little computer room. Well, you get an extra point for that. And the main entrance here on the first floor will remain the main entrance. There's 2 little windows right here that have been boarded up, and those will be opened back. And we were up here just last week doing a window survey, so we walked through the building window by window and have photo documented and made notes about the conditions of the windows to decide, what, if the windows need to be replaced, if they can be refurbished. On the inside, they look like they're in pretty good shape, but on the outside, they're just beat up totally. So it's such a great building. It was amazing. We smelled brownies in there cooking, over here in this area where the staircase was. I mean, I don't know if, somebody was, making brownies close by, but, and then there was a room up on the 5th floor. I could smell perfume. It's not every old building we go into is fun like that, so.
Wow. Is it possible to have that set of plans maybe emailed, just so I can study them more?
I'll ask the developer.
If there's a way to get them
I didn't-
electronically?
I mean, this is my work, so I was, fine with giving you the draft, even though there's some kind of, internal notes in there about Catherine's supposed to do this or that, or the other thing, but I'll have to ask him.
If that's
he
not
wants
a
to do
problem,
that.
I mean, I know that they may be proprietary, but it would be kind of fun to just
Yeah.
sit back and really look at them in depth.
And this, when you submit, it's a big scramble to meet the deadline for the application and the big package where they have to provide all their, all the financial information and about how they're gonna make it happen. And so there's probably gonna be some changes to this,
Oh,
as
sure.
we work through it.
But I mean, just to see an
Yeah.
overall, just a preliminary, I'm sure there'll be,
So you'll kind of see,
36
there's
inch.
dashed lines for walls that are being demolished, and then the new floor plan is solid lines quote on top of that.
It's good. Just glad to see something happening with it. It's been there sitting vacant a long time.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the project itself?
And feel free, if you feel inclined to read through the draft, if you have any questions or insights, feel free to send me a note or an email or give us a call at the studio.
Doesn't sound like we have anything else, but thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm excited to take a look here in a few more weeks. And
Watch the progress going forward.
Yeah. All right, do you want me to take this one?
Do you want to keep one for
Everybody
Erin?
got one, thank you.
yeah, I'll keep one there. I'll drop it by tomorrow.
When she's more awake, she.
Yeah, yeah. That's, I mean, certainly an exciting project. Some of the ghost hunters or anything like that that like to go into that building might be a little bit depressed that they're losing that kind of asset. But,
Brownies got any?
Yeah, exactly, brownies and perfume, I'm telling you,
It's
it's
all
great.
trespassing anyway, so.
yeah, that's right. That's
Pretty
right.
cool.
Thank you again.
Yeah, just
Thank
send
you.
me an email and I'll
That's where I
find
was-
out.
I'll do it, thank you very much for
That's where I was going.
Was it?
Dr. Ringrose went from $25 with mushroom today to $50 with me.
That's why they don't like you. You've always been the
Yeah,
expensive.
thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's really all we have for that project. I don't have much for staff comments at this point. We are doing I'd say, a decent job of patrolling, just making sure that we're talking to property owners, making sure what's going on, and making sure that they're aware of guidelines and restrictions, those kind of things. But really, that's all I have for staff comments. I'll open up to item number 6, commission comments.
I have none.
Nothing else?
Man, you guys are quiet tonight. All right.
I'll make a motion.
I think this is a great thing, though. I think that this is something that, does anybody know whatever happened to the cross that was on top of it? I heard it got taken and they found it in a salvage yard or in.
It's on
been-
top
I think
of
it's
the
at
hospital.
the Mercy Hospital.
Is it the new hospital?
It is on
Yeah.
top of the
Yes.
new Mercy. Well, that
Yeah.
shows you how often I go out there.
What about the lights that were in front?
That I don't know.
Oh, those old
Yeah.
fixtures? Ooh, those are beautiful.
I know,
They've been gone a while.
everybody's got them in their front yard, don't they?
Sure.
The crazy thing is that emergency sign, it hasn't been that many years that it's been gone, because I see it's not there, but I remember in high school it was still there.
That would be another thing that would be really neat to
The
have.
neon emergency sign, I don't
It's
know where it's
probably
at.
in somebody's basement.
Or in a club somewhere, bigger.
Like, over there, oh, no.
It's in your man cave, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in your place, isn't it, Jeff?
Well, thank you guys very much. We are